What do you do if you caught someone vaping?
If we catch somebody vaping, we'll bring them down to the office and have them see their principal. And usually what happens is they get issued a 3-day out-of-school suspension. If it's the second time, it does bump up to 5 days. If we want to, we could possibly file criminal charges against them as well. It would fall under the juvenile tobacco offender law because they do contain nicotine.
Why do you think students vape?
I think they vape because of peer pressure. It's something new, and they don't realize how dangerous e-cigarettes really are. And to be honest with you, we really don't even know how dangerous they are. As I used to tell them back in the middle schools when I was in there doing presentations, it was just like smoking cigarettes. You know, my father, he smoked when he was younger, and my grandma did the same thing. It took 20 or 30 years for lung cancer to develop. We already know that there's something that's called popcorn lung because of some of the chemicals they put into the flavoring of them, but we don't know the long-term effect. We probably won't know how bad e-cigarettes are for at least another 10 or 15 years.
Anything else you want to add?
Don't fall to the peer pressure. You know, you're not cool if you smoke e-cigs or vape. They are dangerous, and it's not worth being suspended from school from.
Okay, thank you.
These are part of the e-cigs that we've taken off the kids so far this year.
Do you vape, and if so, how often? I do, but not as often as people that are addicted. So do you feel that you are addicted? No. And what made you start to vape? Literally just everyone did it. Like, it just kind of became like a thing. Like, everyone had it all of a sudden, and I was like, okay, I might as well get one, and then I just started. Are you ever afraid of like the consequences that may come from vaping? Not really. And would you say you only do it with yourself or like with friends or? Mostly with friends, like when you're at a party or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what would you say to like anyone else that like is thinking about like starting vaping? Honestly, there's no point. It's kind of just a waste of money. But.
So why did you start vaping in the first place?
Because I did it on my own free will, and I was just like, why not?
Well, how did you find out about it?
Because it was on social media, and I was like, oh, that looks cool.
Okay. Do you know the health issues and side effects to it?
Yeah.
Does it bother you?
No.
Why?
Because I can stop whenever I want.
So about how often do you think you vape?
Driving to and from school, when I get home, and on my free time.
So where do you get your vapes or pods from?
My friends that are 18.
And do you pay for them yourself, or do they pay for them?
Heck yeah, I pay for them myself. They don't have jobs.
So do you think that's a waste of your money, or is it worth it?
It's not a waste of my money because I'll just make money again.
And do you feel like you're ever going to get caught, and like, will the consequences, do they like keep you from doing it?
Caught by who?
So your parents,
My
the
parents
police.
already know.
And how do your parents feel about it?
I mean, they don't like it, but they've just given up on taking it from me because they know I'm just going to go out and buy a new one.
Okay, so this question is for Gary. How often do you catch students vaping?
We probably catch them sometimes once or twice a week, depending. Every week is different.
All right, and this one's for Sherry. What are your thoughts on vaping?
Vaping to me is more bad off than smoking because of the consequences of it. It can cause popcorn lungs, breathing problems. It's just not good. It's not good at all, and it's higher levels of nicotine that you can get from vaping, which cause a worse addiction than smoking can.
Why did you begin vaping? Honestly, I just saw my friends do it, and I thought it was cool, so just joined in. And it kind of like started with the mods, and you're like, you know, the whole cloud and stuff like that. And like tricks. Yeah, and tricks. It was really fun, and then no one really has a mod anymore, and like Jules just kind of came into play, and then it was just like nicotine, and then that's what it is now. When you were caught, were the consequences you faced were they worth vaping? No, my dad grounded me for a month and made me smash it with a hammer. My mom buys my paws. Okay, so definitely very different parenting there. My dad gave me a lecture on how bad they are for you and said that it's not cool and I need to think about it with my monthly graduation. I made my mom hit my jewel. Okay. So would you say you are willing to quit anytime soon? I know you said you have, but... Oh, me? I mean, I don't know. I haven't really done it in like a week. I don't really care. So is a week a long time for you to not really know? Literally, I kind of just like forget about it. Okay. What like attracts you to do it? Is it like the flavors, like just other people are doing it? The buzz, the mango. It makes you feel like food. Okay, so would you say it's like a common thing in society now that like just everyone's doing it? Literally everyone's a jewel. Like the goodest people you. Why do you think kids should not start juuling or vaping? Well, I think kids should not start juuling or vaping because, for one, it's not worth it. Like, if you think that nicotine is going to like fulfill you and make you feel like happy and stuff, it's not worth it. And it's also like ruining your lungs. So when you run and stuff, it just makes you feel like crap, and it's just not worth it. And it's illegal until you're 18 or 21, so don't do it. Yeah, and like, there's really just no point to it, like at all. Like, if you ask people why they started, it's not like they don't say, oh, because I just love nicotine. It's just because like, oh, all their friends was doing it, and it was
Peer
just like
pressure,
the
kids.
cool phase.
Peer pressure.
But like, and then people just got like hooked onto it. But like, there's really no point to it. Especially once you keep doing it, you don't even get a buzz anymore. So like, people that say they vape for the buzz, like, you literally don't even get a buzz. You're just hitting straight nicotine and ruining your lungs for no reason.
And they're like a cigarette, so if you don't like
They're worse than cigarettes, actually.
They're just a different form of smoking.
What are your views on vaping?
I found my first Juul this year. I didn't know what they were. And I was like, oh, that was an odd thing to be dropped. And I was like, why is that girl carrying around like a flash drive? And then I was like, oh, is that a Juul? But yeah, I don't think starting any new habits is good for high schoolers in general. In psychology, that's what, hey, AP Psych. So in psychology, that's what we talk about is high schoolers and people in their adolescence. Their frontal lobe is under construction, which is the part of the brain that deals with higher order thinking and making these decisions. So oftentimes they're impaired, so they can become more likely to become addicted to a substance, whether it be nicotine from the vape or any sort of drug that they're doing. Plus, I read this article and this vape exploded on somebody's face, and that was really scary.
Why do you think kids vape?
I think it's probably social. They think other people are doing it, so they're doing the same thing, but I don't think that they're necessarily wanting the nicotine. I don't know if they're even considering it in the broader sense. So.
What do you think are the psychological effects of like nicotine addiction and juuling?
I think we're going to see down the road. This is the first group that we've really seen doing much vaping or juuling or whatever. I read this thing about popcorn lung. That was bad. I didn't think that was a good idea. But yeah, so honestly, I think it's going to be the new gateway. I think they're addicted to nicotine at a younger age, and it's a higher dose. And so maybe they know that smoking cigarettes has nicotine and has really bad effects, but I think the same thing, you're becoming addicted to a substance, so that's bad.